Are you being lazy? Like really lazy? Like way more lazy than you've been before? There are solutions. Welcome back to Ask Dr. SAIRA, our weekly show where I answer your questions about spirituality, psychology, and relationships. Today's question comes from Taslim, and Taslim asks, how can I motivate myself to get active? I know it will help my depression, but I am just so tired all the time. How can I get myself to be active? I know it'll help my depression. So this is a really good question. I remember what it was like when I was depressed and had a really bad depressive episode. And yeah, you're tired. You're just exhausted, like a different kind of tired than you've ever felt before. And it's hard to get moving. It's hard to even get out of bed. And so what I would say, Taslim, is to really try to do this in stages. So, going from lying in bed all day to running a marathon, it's just not realistic, right? So let's think of little baby steps that we could take to get ourselves moving in the direction of being active. An example, when I was super depressed, when I couldn't get out of bed, what I was trying to do is at least sit up in bed, right? So even though I'm in bed, I can't get out, I would at least sit up in bed and maybe read, or maybe watch TV or something, just getting my body physically sitting. That's a first step, right? And I know for those who haven't experienced depression themselves, it can feel a bit like overkill, like really just sitting up in bed, that's all you're gonna do. But for people who know that experience, sometimes that's all you can do, right? I often like to say that, we don't tell somebody who's just had chemotherapy treatment that they should be going for a run, right? Because we understand that the chemotherapy treatment has a profound impact on our biology and we need to just rest. With depression, there's this profound impact on the body. And I'm not trying to compare cancer to depression, but what I am saying is that depression, it is debilitating for people who have it and for people who are going through those episodes. So if someone you love has depression, this would be really good for you to watch to the end, because just to understand how to help them. So the first thing is do something small, like just sit up in bed. Another thing is when you feel like doing it, do it. So sometimes, the sun might be shining and you might feel like, oh, I could really go outside for a walk right now. And then the second thought comes of like, oh, but it's so cold, or oh, da-da-da, or blah, 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 blah. Don't let those seconds, just get your shoes on and go outside. And even if it's just, what I used to do is I would just set a timer for myself for 5 minutes. 5 minutes of fresh air. My sister actually helped me build this bed outside. I mean, we didn't build it. We used bricks and wood, and we made this little platform, and we threw some of those, those things that you put on the lawn chairs, those kind of pillowish things. So we made this bed. We put these pillowish things on the bed outside on my balcony, and then every so often when I see the sun shining, I would go outside and lie down outside in my outside bed. So then at least I was getting some vitamin D, at least I could hear the birds, at least I could see the trees. I was outside. And so little things that you can do to get yourself moving, to get yourself out of that environment of just being in bed. Yes, exercise really, really helps. It helps so much because you're giving your brain what it needs, right? You're giving yourself your dopamine, your adrenaline, all the things that depression just sucks away. But again, you're not going to be doing rigorous exercise when you're not even able to get out of bed. One of the other things that might be helpful that I did, that I encourage my clients to do, is set up walk dates with friends, right? And so setting up a date for a walk 10 o'clock in the morning. So you have to get up, you have to get ready, you have to get going. It's not 8 a.m., which will be unrealistic probably for those who are in a depressive episode, but 10 o'clock. So you have to get up at a reasonable time. You have to get maybe hopefully showered, and get out. And then walk. So rather than a coffee date, a walk date. And that way you're getting some movement. You're spending time with a friend and you're outside and you've had to kind of do something in the day. And that might be all you can do that day. That might be enough for the whole day and you can't do anything else that day. That's okay. But remember, there's 5 pillars when it comes to depression. There's 5 different areas that we want to make sure that are intact. So one is our physical exercise, right? The movement piece. And it doesn't have to be going to the gym 3 times a week, right? It can be simple as a daily walk for 10 or 15 minutes outside. It could be as simple as running up and down the stairs for 15 minutes inside your house when it's snowing or raining outside, right? So movement. The next one is diet. Your food will really influence your mood. There's actually a course called Food and Mood through the Center for Mind Body Medicine. Fantastic and interesting course. Watch what you're eating. Those things that are high in sugar, high in fat, high in salt, they might feel good to eat in the moment, but they're not good long-term for a depressed brain. So lots of green leafy vegetables, people. Moving, food. The next one is hygiene. So earlier I said maybe you'll shower. That's one of the warning signs for me, is when I'm feeling like I'm not showering daily, or I'm not kind of excited about my shower, then I know that, I could be slipping. So hygiene is another one. Food, exercise, hygiene. No, exercise, food, hygiene, social support. When we're not around people, it can get easier and easier to fall apart, right? And so that's why the walk with a friend in the morning is a really good one, because you're getting your social support just built in. One of the things that I often did was I would isolate myself when I was down. I'd be unavailable. My friends would be like, oh, she must be busy. And, I'm a busy person. So, but when they started, like the friends who really know me, they know that when I go AWOL, they reach out and they text me. And one of the easiest things you can do if you know someone, if you're supporting someone who has depression, is just text messaging saying, hey, thinking of you, sending them a picture of something cool that you're doing, like, your cute dog or whatever. So many cute dog pictures helped me through that time, let me tell you, or cute baby pictures really helped. So that social support is so, so critical. So exercise, food, hygiene, social support. So the 5th one is sleep. Making sure that you're really paying attention to your sleep hygiene. So that means, winding down about half an hour to an hour before bed. So you're not just going from like high intensity activation to bed, but starting to wind down, turn the lights off, turn the devices off, start to read, maybe make sure your bedroom is cool and kind of dark and soothing and tidy. Trying to go to bed the same time every night and wake up the same time every morning, and knowing that the most regenerative hours of sleep are between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. So making sure, if you're going to bed at midnight or 1 o'clock, you're losing some of that really regenerative time for sleep. So that sleep hygiene is really important. So those 5 things. So movement is one of them, but if you can't get to the movement, if you're stuck in that area, focus on the other 4, right? Focus on the other 4. Get those in order, and those might give you the energy that you need to get to the 5th. So those are my thoughts about how to get more active when you're managing your depression. If you have other questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my new website, drsaira.ca. Check it out. I'm very proud of it. Write me a review. If you know me, please write me a review, because those reviews really help me kind of like get my internet brownie points. So this was great. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.